this struggling battle that we all have with our ego, and in this case, in a personal battle that I have just turned 50 years last year, and suddenly, welcome to the club, and basically, it's just that when you realize and you make kind of a revision of the priorities that you have been given to your life, and some things are missing, some things are great, and some things are not so great. And then I have been just going into a retrospection about how the mechanics of my own perception has been, and I thought that it was incredibly interesting what I have been learning to be aware of how the ego can work. And in my case, in the creative process, my ego has been always a kind of dictator that self-loathing, it's very rude and sometimes can be very misleading, because sometimes when I'm doing something, I said, oh, this is great, this is fantastic, you're a genius, and then 20 minutes later I feel like a dead jellyfish, and I said, you're a stupid asshole, what did you do? Some shit, nobody will care about it. So it's a constant bipolar relation of my process that I thought, well, the ego is a tyrant, and I thought that would be a cool thing to portray in a film, so that's the reading. One thing technical about it, I would like to really make a comment about the guy behind the camera, which is Manuel Lubezki, which is another Mexican guy. And I think the work that he did was incredibly challenging. And obviously, the question that you mentioned, I think it was good that they talk about their experience on the other side, but in this side, what it was very, very different from everything that I had done before was that all the decisions has to be made before we start shooting. So basically, all the camera work, all the blocking, and all the lighting was pre-designed in advance, with months in advance. So there was no improvisation. Everything was precise, meticulously, studied and designed. Without all these great actors and actresses, this film couldn't have been made. I mean, I think not only because obviously actors supposedly are the ones who portray a bigger ego, but that's not true. I think in this case, I always think that politicians and even my dentist has more ego than
I will say that dentist.
He's an asshole. He made me suffer and he feels great and I hate him. Anyway, what I'm saying is that honestly, I think all of us, laugh about ourselves. I think the job that Michael and all of them made, it was extremely difficult, demanding, and we were laughing at ourselves because we have some sterling, so vultures, egos, but we all were reflected in that, and more than laughing of anybody, we were laughing at ourselves. So it was a self-therapy, but I think the craft and the humanity and what they bring to the film was basically what made the film. I think without, this is their film, I have to say. Story, once I had this idea, my co-writer partners and I really decided that I think this short story of Raymond Carver, for me, it was a very, very important part to be decided, because it could have been a play that we made up or another author, but I think this is not only one of my favorite writers that has the capacity of really going to the human heart and the flaws and limitations of human beings with love, and even when their characters, the Carver characters can be pathetic, they are lovable and adorable and complex and human, and what those characters in that short story are looking and question is what love is about, what means that, and they are looking for love. And I think I wanted a play that in a way will be projected, and suddenly the character Regan Thompson will be playing, and suddenly the play will take his life and he will become one of the characters as he's trying to be in that scene. So as you understand, I think that the game was always that the film was about the play of a guy who was working in a film, making a film about the play that is, it was a meta-dialogue. So in a way, that particular Raymond Carver short story became the essential quest of the character in the film. To start it with that poem of Raymond Carver that he wrote when he was 50 years old, which is when he died. He was dying, and it was the last poem that he wrote, which is, did you get from life what you expected? And said, yes, I did. What did you expect? I expect to be beloved, to feel beloved everywhere. So that is what we human beings are looking for, I think, no matter who you are. And I think that's what Regan Thompson is looking, validation, love, affection. And he realized that all his life. So that play became an essential part, and I was lucky to have Tess Gallagher, the widow of Raymond Carver, to allow us to use that play, because I think it's an essential part. It's the DNA of the